What is going on, Summoners? We're back here today with another Champion Deep Dive. It's time he took matters into his own hands. Today, we're talking about Spider Slayer, Jonah Jameson. The Spider Slayer's robotics protect Jonah's physical body, granting him immunity to bleed and poison effects. The Spider Slayer suit also allows Jonah to start each fight with an indefinite austere armor-up buff. Austere buffs cannot be removed or prevented by nullify or stagger. Armor-ups gained after the first have a lower potency and a duration of 20 seconds, expiring one at a time. These armors max out at 12 stacks. Additionally, Jonah isn't trained to land critical hits. Instead, when he would, the Spider Slayer suit inflicts instant shocks, dealing energy damage equal to the critical damage the hit would have dealt. Jonah's shocks and power burns gain 15% increased potency for each active armor-up effect, up to 20 armors. And as a defender, Jonah's shocks and power burns have 70% reduced potency. All of Jonah's personal effects, as well as the parry and dexterity mastery, gain 25% increased ability accuracy. Now, we all know that Jonah Jameson has a short fuse and cannot stand being manipulated. So, when he's inflicted with Taunt, Infuriate, Intimidate, or Delirium, he becomes more aggressive, and he gains a 40% Fury passive for 12 seconds. These max out at 10 stacks, and they cannot end during his specials. Jonah is a natural at riling up his detractors. When his opponent strikes his block, he inflicts a 50% Obfuscate debuff for 5 seconds. These max out at 2 stacks. Obfuscate debuffs reduce offensive ability accuracy by the given potency. Now, Jameson has the best front page headlines in the business. After a fight begins, Jonah will improvise a headline for how he will fight the menace who challenges him, and he'll call out an action for the attacker to complete. The headlines he requests can change depending on the conditions in the fight, but the possible headline actions are landing a light attack, a medium attack, charging a heavy, blocking an attack, inflicting a stun, dodging an attack, and getting a picture of Spider-Man. More on that one in a bit. These headlines have 7 seconds to be completed, and they have a 5-second cooldown. But, as a defender, these timers are swapped. If the attacker completes a headline, Jonah gains a Spider Slayer austere armor-up buff, and he inflicts a slow passive for 12 seconds. This slow is paused during special attacks, and while a Spider-Verse champion is suffering from a slow, he cannot miss. And when he's awakened, completing a headline inflicts a cowardice passive for 12 seconds, and refreshes any existing ones. This cowardice's potency scales with SIG level, are paused during special attacks, and max out at 3 stacks. Also, when the attacker doesn't complete the headline, Jonah loses 1 personal armor-up. As an attacker, if you get a tough headline to complete, landing the final hit of his heavy attack during a front page headline refreshes the timer while providing a new choice. During special attacks, no new headlines can be created, and as an attacker, headlines are paused during the opponent's special attacks. To accompany these front page headlines, Jonah takes pictures of his opponent throughout the fight. As an attacker, Jonah can swipe up on his controls to snag a picture of the opponent, causing a blinding flash and passively faltering them for 3 seconds. And as a defender, the camera is used automatically once Jameson starts to block an attack. Auto-block will not trigger the camera. Once used, the camera goes on cooldown and becomes available again after 2 front page headlines have started. And when his opponent misses while faltered, he gains a personal Fury passive. This can only trigger once per falter. And while falter is active, both Jameson and the opponent are more aggressive. And while his personal falter is active, he gains stun immunity. Additionally, when Jameson is awakened, he gains an indefinite austere armor-up buff when taking a picture of the opponent. This can only trigger once per fight, but this armor persists between fights if Jonah defeats the menace with at least one of these armor-ups active. These armor's potency scale with sig level and they max out at 8 stacks. Now, while the opponent is below max power, each hit of his special attacks power burns them up to a combined total of 10, 20, or 30% of their max power based on the level of special attack used, dealing direct damage. Now, let's take him out for a spin in the champion rotation. To begin, hold block and swipe up to use your camera and blind your opponent. Let them attack into your falter and miss so you gain your fury. Then, you can interrupt their attack to start building power. While making your way to your special attack, make sure you're completing the front page headline prompts to gain those armors to juice up your damage. Once you reach your special 2, your camera should be off cooldown, so make sure to take another picture, let them miss, then interrupt them with your special 2 and watch the missile barrage burn their power and deal some sweet red numbers. Now, if your opponent isn't already knocked out, just repeat this process until they are. And hey, when you're questing, don't forget that J. Jonah can ramp up as he moves through a quest, and the more menaces he takes down, the more powerful he becomes. So, build up those armor up buffs and watch the red numbers ignite as J. Jonah leaves his mark across the contest. Thank you for watching this champion deep dive for Spider Slayer J. Jonah Jameson. And hey, if you liked the video and want to see more, click subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you haven't already, join the official Marvel Contest of Champions Discord and come discuss. And remember, we'll see you in the Battle Realm.